rainforest environment. The #1 buffer we have against the loggers, the petroleum industry, the cattle industry is cacao growing. And cacao, more demand for cacao out of the rainforest. And then that keeps the indigenous people on their land. They want to stay there, plus they're having a magical good old time because they're growing cacao. It's by far the highest botanical earner that they could grow. There's nothing's even in the ballpark in terms of what you could grow in that environment that could make you that much money. Well, let me tell the story real quick. So then, the third thing he says is this. This is the cosmic giggle. I'm telling you, inner wound in the whole thing is the cosmic giggle. When he said this, it was like life has to be fake. It's like a story, right? It actually has, every now and then it gets so much like a story, you're like, it's like, is that an editor note? I think. He says that if you take cacao bark, treat it in a certain way, and rub it into your scalp, it cures male pattern baldness. I don't know about you, but my eyes went into dollar signs. So that little bit of information brought in a lot of really interesting insights. One thing is, and this is really fascinating, the great fruit trees of the world, the mango, the papaya, the noni, the cacao, mangosteen, durian, the great tropical fruit trees of the world, we hardly know anything about them. We hardly know anything about them. In Borneo and Brunei, they use the leaf of mangosteen. You've heard of mangosteen and the rind, it's in the rind of the fruit. It's the queen on the chessboard, the queen of all fruits, the mangosteen. But the magic is hidden, like the queen's moves, and it's in the rind of the fruit. The mangosteen leaf can be made into a tea, and it's a male contraceptive. We hear it, yay. So having known that little bit of information, right, and then I hear this about the cacao bark, I'm like, well, all right, I better start growing this stuff. And that's when we bought our farming operation over in Hawaii, and we've been growing. I just got back from that place and putting cacao trees in the ground and doing the full alchemy of everything we know from all the great books. Secrets of the Soil, from stones to bread, the great literature left behind by Steiner, all the work by Victor Schauberger, all the work done on ocean-grown materials and using the ocean as a fertilizer. All of that and more, all the Ormus material, we're doing it on cacao. We're doing it all. We're going to do the full alchemy and see what happens. To grow actually the plants in the way that was originally intended. Give them everything they need times about 1 million. In fact, give them the best food ever. Then see what happens. That's what we're in the midst of right now. But that's a consciousness that's not drinking Coca-Cola. See what I'm saying? So you are what you eat trumps you are what you think about. It trumps it. I'm sorry, that's my belief. That's my experience. And that's why I never really get kind of, when those guys, oh no, it's, you just got to think success. And it's like, look, your idea of success of like, race cars and stuff is like, I don't know, man. We don't know much about the greatest fruits in the world. Imagine that. Now imagine if cacao bark, I'll get that. Imagine if cacao bark actually stops male pattern baldness and it works. In fact, if you look at the way that most pharmaceuticals are made, what do? The dudes from the pharmaceutical companies go down to the Amazon, they ask them, what do you use for this, that, and the other thing? They take it back, they try to chemically select out those particular molecules, and then they try to synthetically create them.
Right.
Now you see how the cosmic giggle gets delivered right there? Because really that's what I'm hardwired to do. Pharmaceutical engineering, really, but I can't do it because it's so unnatural. It's not, because it was originally herbal engineering. You have your primary herb, your secondary herb, your third herb, and your delivery system. That kind of stuff. That kind of thinking. Anyway, all of a sudden this comes in, it's like, whoa, wait a second. That's the cosmic giggle. I got the advice from a shaman in the Amazon, took action on that, developed a product that can actually reverse male pattern baldness, and then that product bankrolls the craziest nutraceuticals in the history of the world. That's funny. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I like to do. That's fun for me. Somebody might go, I'll eat it, but dude, I don't want to do that. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to know any of the thing behind it. All you have to know is, is that the best ever? The best ever by far. Best day ever state of consciousness. Cheetos, Doritos, Fritos cannot create a best day ever state of consciousness. Impossible. It's at a there's a vibrational discrepancy. A friend of mine, she was getting a divorce. Finally I sat her down, I'm like, why are you getting a divorce? She said, oh, it's a vibrational discrepancy. I'm having a marital liberation. Has anybody here been maritally liberated? A vibrational discrepancy. And that's what live food brings in. It opens you up to a whole new frequency of what's already here all the time. Walking around the streets of Los Angeles, there are so many fruit trees, interesting stuff that's been brought here from all over the world, from South America. They brought truckloads, boatloads of trees from South America up here. Nobody cares. They're waiting at Starbucks. Meanwhile, right there, on the street, like cherimoya tree, right there. Starbucks. How do you work with coffee addictions? This is where we get clever. If we say, dude, don't, we're in a minefield, we're out of court. What do we do? You work with it. You go, perfect. How about the best coffee ever? Here's what it is. I know no one here drinks coffee. But in case a relative might come over, here's what it is. Adding in the medicinal mushrooms, about 500 milligrams to a cup of coffee, for example. Reishi mushroom, cordyceps mushroom. Actually, those two mushrooms have been proven to neutralize the acidity of coffee, just those two mushrooms. The most alkaline food in the world is medicinal mushrooms. Learning about the food and medicines of the future. We're going to get in there. We'll do a question and answer here in a minute. Maca, a little bit of maca, a little bit of tocotrienols. That's the best stuff ever. That's so nuts, crazy. Best stuff by far. Little tiny bit of honey. People say, what about agave? Is agave okay? Is it really acidic? Is it not? I read on the internet, it is. It's good, like for diabetics, right? Is it okay for me? It is. It's not. It is. It's not. This is like, 20 seconds on the internet. At some point you just got to say, look, I just got to, just go with my instinct on this. But here's how I feel about it. Agave's all good. It's rad. Awesome. It's great. But it's not honey. Nothing touches honey in food value. As like a wild foodist, many years like a wild foodist, there was periods of time in my life where I never went to a store. I would go up to northern, you didn't hear this from me, I would go up to northern San Diego County, go into the avocado orchards with an army bag, me and my friends, fill it up with avocados and oranges, and then take those and dump them all on my deck like that, and then all the greens that we're eating were all wild foods. And I did that for a long period of time. And as a wild food person, there is like there's a certain type of connection, there's a certain creativity that occurs from that, a certain type of insight that cannot occur in any other way. It's hard to, it's like, this is so experiential that what I'm describing to you actually cannot be put into words, it cannot be written down. Think about a metaphysical transformation, like we've been reading about, Superman, right? Metaphysical transformation that can happen to you, in your shoes, in your reality, that happens at your pace based on what you're eating in your lifestyle. That's possible. And it comes from the food, works its way out all the way into your joints, your fingers, your hands, all your muscles, all the organs in your body. Everything goes through that rejuvenation at the deepest level and core of your being. And you get returned to normal.